Grow your practice, grow your wealth, grow your impact. Find out how to spend less time in the dental chair and more time on the things you love.
Welcome back to the Dental Wealth Podcast. Glad to be back with you. Hopefully at this time, by the time you listen to this, if you are listening to it and you stay up week by week, hopefully you're getting your office ready to reopen again, and you're positioning your team and positioning resources around that. Last podcast, I talked about this idea of scarcity versus abundance, and realizing right now that the vast majority of your peers are going to be in this mindset of scarcity. And if you focus on abundance, if you get ready for that, and if you're prepared and you really think through that idea of abundance and you really get focused on what are your opportunities and how can you build and create. And one of the things I said last time, and I'll go through this, I said that something had come across my LinkedIn and it said, study while others are sleeping. I didn't make this up. I've seen it before, but study while others are sleeping. Decide while others are delaying. Work while others are wishing. Listen while others are talking. And persist while others are quitting. Right now, there's a lot of people who are not studying. And in what they're doing is sleeping. They're watching Netflix. And I'm talking about doctors. I'm talking about doctors right now that are taking this time to mow the lawn and to focus on weed eating and watching some Netflix and catching up on Tiger King, right? And then decide while others are delaying. Look, there's so many people that are in a passive state. They remain in a passive state, and they're staying in this passive state. And that's a mistake. Now's the time to take action. You've got to decide while others are delaying. There's something in business we call first mover advantage. And first mover advantage means the person who delays the least wins. When you come to market and you move first, you win. And so you've got to be willing to decide while others are delaying. And it's an opportunity. That's what goes back to abundance mindset. Work while others are wishing. Hey, this is a scarcity versus abundance conversation. Work while others are wishing. That's right. That means work. Go to work while others are wishing this pandemic would be over. And wishing they could get clearance, and wishing patients come back, and wishing all this stuff would happen. And instead of wishing, what they're doing is they're working. And they're working a plan, and they're working on the plan, and they're working to make things happen. They listen while others are talking. While others are talking about all the things that are happening, most of it's scarcity mindset, not really helpful anyhow. They're not talking, they're listening. They're looking for anticipation of the market. And they persist while others are quitting. While others have quit on their teams and quit on where they're taking things, they continue to build and create and work on these things. So why am I telling you this time? It's going to be so interesting. I can't wait for you to watch this in November. One of the things I was talking to our team about was I want people to watch the videos from 3 months ago or 6 months ago. And I was telling somebody, I said, look, this is the stuff I've been telling you guys for a long time. And I said that winter was coming. I told you I wasn't a big fan of 401ks. I told you that you needed access to capital, that there's going to be opportunity when winter came, and we've got to prepare for that. And in fact, I was looking at my notes from maybe 2 months ago, whatever it was, and I was like, there, it says right in my notes that winter is coming. But now spring is coming. And the question is, do you prepare for it? And what do you do to prepare for it? And so we look at this idea of, first of all, anticipation. So do we anticipate? Okay. And anticipate the financial needs and anticipate the needs. First of all, anticipation of am I going to, if I've been letting myself go a little bit, do I need to step up my game and turn off the alcohol and turn off some of the stuff in the news for a little bit and get my mental state ready? And what's the marketplace doing? And where do I need to be focused? I said to someone the other day, I said, look, this really comes down to facts versus feelings. The business that anticipates the best wins too. I'm just going to tell you right now, you've got to anticipate. That's why first mover advantage is so powerful. It's about anticipation of what the market needs are and coming to market with something. Well, the business owner right now, especially, that anticipates the best, that really the dental practice owner who anticipates is going to like come out in a completely different place. So you have to anticipate what's going to happen in the marketplace, what changes are going to happen, what I need as far as team. Hey, are there going to be team members available in the marketplace? Do I have the right team right now? Do I need to be looking for other people? Anticipating the need and anticipating that there's going to be a supply. There's going to be an abundant amount of supply in the marketplace, because most doctors won't listen to this podcast, and they're going to do what every other person does, and that's have a scarcity mindset, and they're not going to be prepared. You got to be prepared. So we anticipate when we're going to be opening. We anticipate the financial investments we need to make. We don't let feelings take over control. We have strong financial acumen. We look at our numbers. We know what our cash flow looks like. We make investments. We are on top of this. We don't let feelings rule the day. So many people have let fear control themselves in this time, and I think it's honestly a tragedy. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't be careful. I'm saying we shouldn't be fearful. And there's a complete difference between the two. Careful is washing your hands. Careful is making sure you have PPE. That's careful. Fearful is false evidence, right? Appearing real. It's not true that a lot of things that have been put in the marketplace, so people feel like they don't have the money. They feel like they're not going to be able to come out of this okay. They feel like a lot of things, but what are the facts? And most doctors that I work with, they're in a good financial position. They're in a good cash flow position. They have the ability to invest. And so we start to look at facts versus feelings. We start to go, look, I got to get the facts in front of me. And then I got to figure out what team members I'm going to need and what changes I need to make and what needs to happen. And that's the facts. Then what we do is we design a plan around that. And once we figure that out, we have to design a plan. What team members am I going to need to help me implement this plan? So do you know the average person spending 4 hours more on Facebook per day? But yet in the marketplace, no one else is communicating. No other dentist is communicating. They're not. There's a nobody. I'm sure there's a few, but there are not many of them. So communicate with the marketplace. To communicate with the marketplace, you're going to need team members. You can't do it all. And what about training and outreach and community outreach and reaching out to current patients and booking the calendar and investing and creating a plan? There's a lot of that has to be designed. And if you're not on top of this design, you're going to be slow to get back open. The vast majority of doctors are going to be coming out of this very slowly. But if you do what I say, say on this podcast, if you follow this direction, you won't. And by the way, something to think about is momentum. If we're home every day, if we're sitting at the house every day and we're watching Netflix, we're mowing our lawn and we're not really focused on abundant thinking and opportunity, we lose momentum. And then we bring that momentum into team conversations. By the way, every single one of you should be talking to your team at a minimum, doing a Zoom meeting once a week. At a minimum. I don't care if they're furloughed or not. You should be communicating. And you should be communicating often and getting ready to open back up. So important for you to think about getting back open up. What is your plan right now? As you're listening to this, what's your plan? Like, what's your plan of action? What do you plan on doing to come out of this? What are you planning on doing to come out on top? Realizing, think about this opportunity, realizing your competitors have stopped talking to the marketplace. They're not even talking to their own patients. They are not going to expand hours. Their team isn't training. They're not preparing to answer the phone, which, by the way, will be really important when you actually go back down at this, and how you pick up the phone will really matter, by the way, and being able to handle people that are apprehensive about coming back to the dentist. I'm going back to facts versus feelings again. Look, I feel like patients will be hesitant to come back. That's a feeling. That's not a fact. You don't know that. And in fact, I was just talking to a dentist yesterday, and he said, Eric, I've got so many people booked for when we open back up that honestly, if I called 100 patients, 97 of them are ready to come in. That's probably pretty average with any time. So I find that interesting, right? People started creating stories. That's a feeling, not a fact. You got to separate facts versus feelings. So we anticipate the marketplace. Then we design a plan to take opportunity, abundant mindset, to take opportunities in the marketplace and to train our team and to book out the calendar and to get marketing plan in place and marketing investment in place. And we look at strategies and we follow those strategies and we create this plan and then we implement that plan. So we implement this plan. We create a schedule. We break out our teams into different groups that are handling different things. I remember having a dentist pass away, unfortunately, and I remember going to his team and sitting down, and I broke the teams out into 3 groups at that time. And the dentist had just passed away. I said, hey, one group, here's what you're going to do. We've got 6 months of production on the calendar. I need you to go find doctors. And I drew a big circle on a map. And I said, hey, look, by the way, I'd never met this team before. And I was out in the cornfields of Indiana and never met any of these people. But I said, look, you guys are in the middle of Indiana. Like, we drew a geographic circle and we said, hey, look, we don't want to ask any dentists inside the circle because of the fact that we don't want them to take our patients. But I took one group and I said, look, I need you to go find doctors to take care of the next 6 months of treatment. And by the way, they booked within 24 hours, they booked 6 months of restorative help. 6 months. People tell me they can't find associates. Not true. And so it's priority determines capacity, by the way. And that was a priority. And then I said to a group, I said, hey, look, when they find out the doctor passed away, they're not going to want to pay us. And so I need one group to go after all the AR. By the way, the next month, they had their highest collection month in the 38-year history of the company. Then I said to one group, I said, you're going to be in charge of PR. Like, you're going to be in charge of PR. And so I need you to go through a barbecue and let everyone know you're still open for business and that you're going to see patients. And so we're going to have a big, like, giant celebration of this doctor's life. And so we created this plan. And I was only with, I remember being able to look at the family and, I met the family in the morning. I think the doctor passed on a Saturday. I think I was there Sunday and met with the family on Monday morning. And then I said, hey, look, I got the practice. I guess I could have spent time on scarcity and fear, right? At that time, I could have let fear take over. I could have looked at scarcity. I could have started telling myself a story. But we didn't, and neither did the team. We looked at what the opportunity was, what we needed to do, how to have abundance mindset. We broke everyone out into teams. We set goals. We followed up on those goals. See, that's what happens. And priority determined capacity, and it ruled the day. And by the way, that practice is still thriving to this very day. It's the same thing for your practice. And that story is so analogous to your own practice. As this happens, do you rise to the occasion? Do you break out your teams into different groups? Do you meet with them and set goals for this period of time? Are you setting daily and weekly? And you don't think that at the end of that day, I asked them what their progress was? Hell yeah, I did. I asked them what they got done in 24 hours. We booked 6 months of production. Hey, a lot can happen in 24 hours. Daily, weekly rocks. Hey, at the end of the week, I want to know how you're doing. And by the way, for a while, at the end of the week, I said, hey, how did we do this week? And then we had a monthly goal. We hit those monthly goals. You should be doing the same thing right now. Now, when that doctor passed away, do you think the office was open or closed? Closed. I mean, we had to go find doctors. We didn't have anybody to see the patients. Does that make sense? Sounds pretty similar. So you can't sit back and watch, and you can't sit back and let fear take over, and you can't listen to everybody else. You got to go after this thing and say, look, I got to get my team. So I've got to anticipate when I'm going to be open again, anticipate the financial needs, anticipate the team needs, look at internal and external factors. I design a plan around that, and then I'm going to implement the plan, and then I'm going to measure, just like I told you. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to see what the results are. And today, it used to be collections. Maybe it's patient scheduled. Maybe it's phone calls. Maybe different people are measuring different things. And that's how you come out on top of this. Like you don't sit back. The idea of waiting for PPP funds before you bring your team back is absurd. And it was created by financial advisors who don't understand business. And I'm going to say that again, and I stand by it 100%. The people who said that were financial advisors who know nothing about business because they went scarcity mindset. And a lot of them are not going to get loans now because they decided to wait. That was a huge mistake. I would never allow a financial advisor to tell me what I would do in my business. I trust the MBAs. I trust the business people. I let the accountants deal with accounting, and I let financial advisors deal with my portfolio. But I don't ask financial advisors about how to make business decisions. I don't mean to be disrespectful. Some of you might be married to financial advisors. It's not being disrespectful. It's to say the same thing of saying, I don't let my knee surgeon do my root canal. There might be similarities in medical professions, but they're different areas of expertise. Why are you taking advice for your business from someone who's not educated on business advice? But yeah, we did. Right now, I need you to turn those voices off. I need you to stop listening to them. You need to go to work. It's time to get off the couch. It's time to put this stuff away, and it's time to get excited. Like, I'm serious. Like, it's time to get excited. This is an exciting time. There's opportunity. Like, literally, when you think back at this time, you'll have opportunity you've never had before. You're going to have such amazing, abundant opportunity if you go after it. You can excite your team. You can excite the marketplace. You can excite your community. You can excite the energy. You can have new team members. You can do all kinds of things, but you have to get into this abundance mindset and get focused on growth and opportunity and not scarcity and feelings and lack of facts, right? And someone said to me the other day, they said, Eric, no one's talking like this. And I'm like, it's because you're taking advice from people who don't really understand business. And I don't mean to be disrespectful, by the way, to anybody. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm not coming from a place of condemnation. I'm coming from a place of optimism and saying, look, there's a lot of opportunity here if you just go after it. And I want to wake people up sometimes and go, stop listening to the news and stop listening to pessimistic doctors and stop, get off the darn webinars where they're just talking about the same things over and over again. And let's get ready. Let's get our teams ready. Let's get our marketing plans ready. Let's get our schedules ready. And let's get our mindsets ready. And let's get our bodies ready. Let's get ready to take opportunity. You want to talk dental wealth? You want to talk about getting wealthy? Now's the time. Winter is a time of opportunity. Winter is a time of opportunity. It is a time of opportunity. And if you see it that way, I promise you, there's things that can happen in the next 3 months that you could not have gotten done in the last 3 years. You just have to be looking. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. This is a part of the podcast what I'm, if you guys can't tell, I'm highly passionate about this stuff. But going back to scarcity and abundant mindset, like, you have to share this message. Don't hoard the message and go, well, I don't want anybody else to know about this. No, you share it with your friends and colleagues and people you care about. The worst mistake, the idea of abundance mindset is it's an energy. We by not holding things back, we let things flow. We let opportunities and conversations and growth. And by doing that, we move ourselves, because, by the way, you couldn't possibly handle all the patients, even in your area, let alone all over the country. So we have to look at this as a place of abundance. And by the way, by sharing this, you'll actually create an abundance mindset to go, like, I just want everyone to have information and everyone to be successful and everyone to have opportunity. By doing that, what ends up happening is it'll change the way you think. It'll change the way you see opportunity. It's an energy. Abundance is an energy, and you have to let it flow. So if you listen to this and go, man, gosh, I really needed to hear that right now, Eric, which I'm hearing a lot these days, share it. Share it with it. Maybe it's even a non-dental person that you say, hey, maybe you just need to hear this too. But it's also a time for dentists. Like, share it with someone you went to dental school with. Maybe it's someone you haven't. Maybe what a great time to connect with somebody you haven't connected with in a while. Share a message. Share it in your network. This isn't self-promotion. It's about you. And so, like, if you like this, then you need to share it. You need to like it. You need to share it. You need to pass it on. That's what abundance mindset is, and that's what dental wealth is. Thanks for watching today. I really appreciate you being here. We will talk to you next week. Thanks, guys.